Savannah, and this past summer, I did my preceptorship at Kaiser. So, first things first, guilty pleasures. I'm pretty sure everyone in this room has one, and I'm pretty sure everyone watching this has one. I'll tell you mine. Mine is reality TV. Yep, especially The Bachelor, like Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, you name it. That's where I'm at every Monday night. Like, I love to hate it and I hate to love it, and it's just quite entertaining to me, but yeah. And so my favorite part about this show is actually getting to see the different careers that everyone has. It gets pretty interesting at some points. So shown up above, I see a chicken enthusiast, I see twins, and I see a hipster. You know, totally original jobs, am I right? And that's one thing that I actually pay attention to the show is like each of the jobs. And one day when I was like watching the show, I noticed this one occupation, and it said she was a fertility nurse. And I don't know, just something about it just made me seemed intrigued about it. Like, I knew a little bit about it, but I, didn't know exactly everything about it. But I knew this is what I kind of wanted to be. Like, I always wanted to be in the medical field. I wanted something hands-on, but I didn't know exactly what department I would fit best under. And I feel like with fertility and reproductive endocrinology is something that really intrigues me and interests me. And throughout this internship, I've been through many different departments, many hospitals, many clinics, many labs. And one day I was at genetics, so the night before I did some pre-reading about it. I'm like, okay, 23 chromosomes, you got the double helix, you got your genetic counselors, you got the doctors, you got the labs, you got the DNA swabs. And when I went in there the next day, I was paired up with one of the genetic counselors there. And actually, she taught me a lot of things about genetics that I never thought I knew. I never thought was part of genetics, and things that I never read about, like the tiny little details that make up genetics. And one tiny detail that I actually did not know is that in genetics, they actually give ultrasounds. And I thought that was pretty amazing, because I didn't think out of all the places genetics would have it. And so I get there, I'm in the ultrasound room, and the patient's there, and she brought her mother for support, and as I'm witnessing this ultrasound, as the patient and her mother first see the fetus, the baby, for the very first time, like, the way their eyes looked at that screen and the faces that they made, that feeling was priceless. It was nondescript, like so hard to describe, yet so beautiful at the same time. And that's when it clicked for me. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be the cause of that emotion. I want to create that. I want to have other people experience that, because I feel like seeing this emotion and feeling it at this ultrasound in genetics, I felt like it was just such a beautiful thing. And that's what furthered my interest in reproductive endocrinology and in fertility. So after seeing that ultrasound, I got to thinking, and a quote came upon me, and it said, "Enjoy the little things in life, for one day you'll look back and realize they were the big things." And the way I interpret this quote is that life isn't a dramatic soap opera, life isn't a reality show nor a dramatic reality dating show, but life, it's filled with moments, many tiny moments. And I feel like in this day and age, so many of us neglect those moments. And once we neglect those moments, what else do we have? Because we start to perceive life as in a matter of days, weeks, months, years, decades, centuries, but not as moments, not as these little things that create such big ideas and big things in this world. And that was one of my main takeaways from this program, is to pay attention to the little things in life. Because every walk on the beach, every phone call you make, every meal you have, a good book you're reading, those little moments is what makes life so beautiful and what creates it. So 3 things, 3 themes, 3 numbers, 3 sentences, 3 sentences, 3 main ideas I have here today that I want everyone to remember. Number 1, find the beauty in everything. Everything that you do, there's something important that will get you to the future. Because I know right now a lot of us are only focusing on the big things in life, but If you look at the overall picture, you don't get much. So try zooming in and seeing the tiny details, the tiny things that you could see, because that's when you find the beauty in everything. And once you find the beauty in everything, you'll start to enjoy those little things. And when you start to enjoy those little things, you'll realize those little things are just as big as the big things. They're just as equally important. And you realize those little things lead to the big things in your life. So, if you remember these 3 main takeaways from my TED Talk today, either here or as you watch this video, I want you to remember those 3 things. And I want you to start to live life and perceive it as moments, special moments that are so important that sometimes we start to neglect them and we start to take advantage of them. And really, the whole point of life is looking at those tiny moments. And you'll be surprised to see what you'll get.